There we go. That's working.
Okay. So if you're roll call,
Okay. So Lori,
I'm here.
Dave,
Present.
Julia,
Present.
Evelyn,
Yep.
Lisa's here. Absent is Kathy Sabo. Chris. That's it. I think that's it now. Yeah. And we have Lisa Holbert. And we have John Gilmore.
Right.
Public.
Okay. I don't have a whole lot in the president's report. Is there public comment? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, public comment. Does anybody have any? John's on the agenda, so I figured there really wasn't any.
All right, sorry,
Any public comment?
did not know who I was here.
So, I don't really have much in the president's report. If there was other public, I was going to kind of basically talk about our meeting rules, but I don't think I need to do that because we all know.
Okay.
So we did change the presentation of the agenda a little bit. And so now instead of it being president's report, we're doing officers' reports. So that way, if the vice president or the secretary has anything to present, they can present as well. So next up is Lisa, and she's going to talk about the new agenda and the new minutes format and so forth.
Yeah, so we talked about looking at the committees, and a lot of the lists, everything that fell under committee technically wasn't a committee. So we took a look at that and broke that out, which is what you're looking at the agenda now. So there's association services, basically reports from those areas, and then committees that we know as committees. So that was the first change on the agenda. As far as minutes, I am going to be taking minutes, but when we say minutes,
Can you guys hear okay?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I'm sorry, Lisa.
no, that was a good check. It's really just to document anything that, any deliverables or any actions that happen as a result of this meeting, and then I'll send those out. So who's responsible and what they are. Thoughts on that?
That was good.
It's a good way to clean it up. Dave, any thoughts on that?
No, I actually haven't found a new agenda. I'm just checking back through the email. I haven't seen a copy of it.
It's on the Pola site. Can you go on the drive?
Yeah.
So if you go on the drive, it's under the agendas, and then it's also listed on the Lake Hayward site, but Mike
Okay.
Troche started a new because we're doing the YouTube videos, so we started a new section.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm good with it.
Can I ask if we can have the agenda emailed to the board members? Yeah. Because I can't get the drive on this, and I have to pull out my laptop, which is,
Yeah.
it's old, it takes
It's
forever to
easier.
pull up.
It's easier.
In the past, we've received an email with the agenda, and it would be nice to get an email with the agenda, because I agree with Evelyn. I use my phone a lot, and you can't pick it up on the phone.
You got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
aim to please.
Perfect.
Is it?
Oh, damn it, this is at my house too. Give it back. Other wool. Give it back. Anything else you wanted to talk about? So, and you all know that we're, as I just said, we're videotaping it now, so the whole meeting can be seen, and,
Yeah, I mean, unless anyone has any objection.
No.
Okay.
do you have anything else, Lisa?
Do I have anything else, Lori?
I want to just make sure you're done.
I think so.
Okay. If you do, you can,
Okay.
the tax collector's report, I will give the report. Lynn sent me an update. I'll just give a basic, the remaining, as of 11/13 today, the remaining outstanding 2022 grand list, which is July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 24 tax cycle. Taxes due are $3,401.60, interest $253.43. And so total outstanding is $3,655.03, which is pretty good.
That's really good.
Yeah. So Lynn's next steps are she'll be sending out a second letter to all the outstanding accounts on November 15th. If it's a repeat of the demand for payment, a notice of lien, which requires another 30 days notice to taxpayers. And she's going to prepare all the outstanding accounts as of December 15th, and we'll send them for formal collection.
Excuse me, Lori, did she say how many different people accounts that was?
Demand letters in October. She said half our outstanding accounts were paid, and I think she said last time it was 10. So I'm going to guess
Okay,
it's
that's
5.
good.
It doesn't say.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
I have 10 names on here.
You have 10 names on there?
Names, not accounts, but names, yes.
Right, so each property is an account, so it might be that they have like a lot in a, 10 or below, Dave.
Thank you.
You're
So
welcome.
we go to collections this quickly? We put a lien on somebody that quickly?
Yes.
After how long? Six months?
So Lynn has basically a matrix, and we did talk about it last time. She sends out her first letter, was it 60 days late? I don't
It's
remember
okay.
exactly.
I can go back on the minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Last year.
So the payments are due.
Oh, we're not talking 23 payment? We're not talking.
So even though it sounds, because it's the 2022 grand list,
Right.
it is a little off-putting in what we're talking about, but the date is actually July 1st, 2023
Yeah, so it's not been that long. That's what I'm saying.
to June 30th, 24. Right. So the payments are actually due August 1st.
Right.
You get a grace period to the 30th, which actually I'm saying it wrong. They're due July 1st. You get a grace period till August.
1st.
Actually, it was August 4th this year because
Okay.
we didn't get them out. So there was a glitch getting them out, whatever it was. So it was August 4th. So then I think she waits another month. So that's 2 months really, grace. So you already have interest due.
Mhm.
So then she sends out the first demand letter. And then November, she'll send out the second one. And then liens will go on in December. Yeah.
Perfect.
And that's how we've been able to
keep them.
be
Yeah.
successful. Yeah.
Very good.
Any other questions that I might be able to answer? Okay. Treasurer's report. Lisa?
Although being late just today, I put them on the drive. I don't know if you guys have any questions about any of that. Other than that, I did some digging through some files and I did find the last time we paid Camaro signs to put up a sign at the north end of the lake. So I'm gonna try to reach out to them and see if, we could get that same sign because I found their invoice, so I thought it'd be an easier way to have the dialogue with them, referencing something from there. So we'll see if we can get the sign taken care of that end, and then I'll work with the property manager and I'll let him know everything I found out just to start it rolling.
Okay, perfect. That'd be nice to get off the cash flow sheet.
Yeah, that's why I want it off the cash flow sheet.
Okay. And it would be nice to have the sign at that entrance of
Yeah.
the lake.
That's all I've got.
Any questions for Lisa?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right, so, John, we're gonna move into, talking about, and I'm gonna start off calling it short-term rentals, but I know we had a little discussion how, you thought, perhaps, talking about a committee as the rental committee. And I was in favor of that. So maybe you want to give a little presentation.
Yeah, I mean, I was provided a list with names on it. It called it the short-term rental committee. I don't have a strong feeling either way, but I can already tell you that of all the people that were on the list, I polled them all, and there are people who completely oppose rentals, at least on the scale that we're talking about. And then obviously there's another group that wants the rentals. So I don't know whether calling it short-term rentals, we're conceding something. Maybe we just call it rental committee. That's my feeling.
I think that is a very acceptable, neutral verb to call the committee.
Okay.
How does everybody else feel about that?
Yeah, we called it short-term rental when I took that list at the last meeting, because that's what everybody was using for a term. That's what Airbnb is considered, a short-term rental. That's the only reason we use that term.
Yeah, I think, just to broaden it, Dave, I mean,
That's fine.
maybe you should deal with all rentals. I mean, I know informally the members of the association have rented their properties in the past, and, it's been an informal thing, but maybe these days it needs to be more structured. Just a thought.
Yeah. We need to be careful, because I'm against a lot of it, but some of it, if I owned a cottage and I was going to rent it to a friend of mine
Right.
for a week, that's not the same as an Airbnb. And I think we need to make we don't want to interrupt people being able to do that. Right. And that's why I thought the short-term rental would be a better name, but I'm not on the committee, so you all decide whatever name you want to use is fine with me.
It's a tough thing, because I think historically folks have done that either by word of mouth or even using a real estate agent and renting it to someone they don't know. I mean, I don't rent, but I can share your concerns. I've got 4 properties near me where a spouse has passed away recently, and I'm not sure what the status of those cottages are going to be in the future. But having said that, I don't know how you decide on having people register and perhaps pay fees or something else without doing it for everyone.
Right. Yeah. I know that, you mentioned a realtor before my time. I mean, I've been at the lake for 20 years now. Before my time, Charlene was the real estate agent when I came in, and I guess Fred Rohrback was his name, was there before Charlene.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for a fact that a lot of people, when they would go away, he would rent the cottage for them.
Right.
I mean, the real estate agent at the lake would rent the cottages out and oversee it. So it's something that's been going on for many, many, many years.
Right.
Right. And our charter talks about rentals. It talks about, year-round, seasonal, and rentals. Clearly, we've been renting for a very long time, and I think having John here tonight to kind of tell us what his vision is and where he wants to take this proposed committee, and then we'll vote on the committee.
Yeah.
Make it closer. But so I just I would like John.
Yeah, I think my only thought on that before John gives his talk is, to me, the big factor of making everybody mad at the lake was the short terms where they were kids. I have one right down the street from me on Laurel Lane that's been rented to teenagers, early 20s, not teenagers, early 20s, and all they do is party and raise hell. And that's, if it wasn't for that, this issue probably never would have come up. But, we need to figure out, I think family renting their cottage to family or friends is not the problem. The problem is the young kids coming and having a party and raising hell.
Agreed, Dave. I mean, I don't rent my place, but then again, I gave it to, well, I claim it to be a family compound. So whoever wants it can take it. So my daughter and son-in-law were there in August. It was, no money transferred. It was just taken and used.
Yes, it should be.
Yeah. But I can see where with the advent of, online bookings, whether it be Airbnb or others, that it becomes problematic. So just this past month, I received emails from one of the potential committee members with photographs. So a bus pulled up and the property had a load of cars on it. So it was rented out for the, and there were, everything appeared to be quiet and well behaved, but with the 10 cars on the property, they were all going to a wedding down at the golf course is what happened. So they rented it for a couple of days. So I don't know how you stop that, whether it's, if it's adults.
I think one of the, go ahead.
House vacations, I did Airbnb, and I was very, very picky about who I rented to.
Right.
One woman, young woman, 21, 22 years old, in a wedding at the Gelston house.
Mhm.
Wanted the bridesmaids to stay. No.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
as I say, it's, Dave, your point is well taken. If you can put a limit on it, but do they abide by it? Age limit, that is,
Right.
like a car rental. You can't be under 25 to rent the thing, but, somebody rents it and, they all pile it.
I don't really know this much about it, but I know that there was a woman that came to the meeting in August. She had a business where she was renting cottage, and she was saying through Airbnb, when you set your profile up, you can put strict limits. On
Yeah,
who
I
you
spoke
can
to
and
her. Her
cannot.
name is Allison Badges. Yeah.
Correct. Yes,
So,
correct.
Allison seems to run a very professional operation, so to speak. But, let's, is it my turn, Laurie, to
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
tell you what I think here?
Yes, please.
So I was provided a list of 14 persons on the list. I reached out to every one of them except for one, Patty Simonelli. I called the number that was, but I never got a return phone call. So some numbers may have gotten transposed. I just want to point out that I did reach out to everyone. Everyone that was on the list wanted to participate, by the way. So I think I spoke to Lynn and I spoke to Chris, both. Their names were on the list.
Right.
My suggestion was that they not be a member of the committee, but be advisory from the board in case it comes to a vote. They won't vote on this, but they get to vote on it as a board member. Okay, that was just a suggestion. And then there was one other name that was added to the list, Lorraine Eckler. So what it gives me is 11 people plus the one addition is 12. That includes me. Laura, you said there may be other committees and some of these same names appeared on those lists as well.
Correct. And you know what? Further down on the agenda, we're going to talk about that. And it's in particularly the bylaws committee.
Right.
I did kind of solidify that today, so this is good. I did want to just comment, Patty Simonelli, I did look up her number and it is transposed. So
Okay.
if you'd like to reach out to her again, I can
Sure.
give you.
Do you have the correct number?
Yes. So on the list, it's 401. And then the first three numbers are 632.
Oh, 632. Okay, not 623. Okay.
Correct. Yep.
John, what was that last name on your list that somebody just?
Lorraine Eckler.
Lorraine Eckler. Apparently she couldn't attend and wanted to be on it and reached out to Lynn and asked her name be included on the list.
Okay. So do you have any ideas and vision of where you want to take this committee and what your thoughts are on how you organize it?
I think looking through the bylaws and the charter, as well as the rules and regulations, the issue of rentals, or uses of buildings, appears in two locations. The language is quite similar, but what is the definition of a business? When these regulations and charter were developed, I'm guessing a business is meant to be a business like we all think of it. Someone running a candle shop out of their house, someone running their contracting business out of the property. So I want to make sure that Airbnbs and the like are businesses under the state's definition, because that's where we receive our authority in our charter. So I don't want to be in conflict by interpreting businesses and the like. If the state identifies it as a business, I think it's a business. There's no question about it. But I was going to solicit questions from the members, and there's been a few already, and put together that list of questions and ask our attorney to review some of the questions. For instance, one member believes that our attorney has a conflict of interest. I don't believe that to be the case, but I know in working with attorneys, if you ask that question, he has to acknowledge whether he does or does not. And if he says, I don't have a conflict, and later on he does have a conflict, that's a serious problem for him as an attorney. So I think he'd be very cautious in giving us advice on that. And I think once that question is asked and answered, we're not going there again.
And I think I saw that they were wondering whether he had a personal interest in property here.
Well, those are some of the questions that I came up with. You know, do you own property here? Do you rent property here? Do you rent properties elsewhere like this? And what's your opinion relative to the town's opinion? That's also a potential issue for him. Now, the town has been pretty much hands off, as I gather, because we're not the only association that they deal with.
So we have to be careful what we ask the attorney.
Sure.
And I say that because, John, once he gives his opinion, that becomes legal.
Yes.
And it can be used against us. So we
Yes.
have to be very careful. But
Well, you know what? I'll ask members of the committee to put together the questions. I'm not going to send them to them. They're going to all be through the board. You know, you have fiscal control over this. I don't want it to get out of hand in terms of what he's charging us either. So
Correct.
Any questions that we develop as a committee should be presented, vetted by you, and then sent on to the attorney for an answer.
okay. And so do you foresee your committee members going to the town and saying to the town, you know, what are you doing? Where do we stand? Because the town does have some jurisdiction, even though they do run under their state charter as well.
Yes. And that's exactly what we'll do is, you know, maybe I'll dole out some responsibilities to people. In fact, that's where Lorraine Eckler, she apparently is a very good researcher. So, you know, I spoke to her as not being a member, but participating as a researcher on the committee. And she was agreeable to that. Now, having said that, I think, yes, we probably would want to find out what some of the associations nearby us locally are doing and what, you know, others throughout the state may be doing. I read an interesting article the other day that the city of New York is trying to limit Airbnbs.
They already have.
Yeah. And we have a vested interest in the lake. We're a volunteer group. And I'm sure, Dave, all the work that you do as a volunteer, you want to do for free so someone could make money because they're renting their properties, you know? No, that's exactly the point. So what's going to happen is in the future, that volunteerism is going to go away and we're going to wind up having a contract for the services that are being provided right now. And that's going to be rather significant. So anyway, what I'm going to ask is the committee, the board, is I don't know whether you've actually voted to form this committee and who the members of the committee are going to be. But I think we probably should have a formal vote on this in case this thing becomes contentious later on and legal.
That's what we're doing tonight.
Yes.
We're going to have a formal vote on whether we want this to be, so it'll be a standing committee. And what that means, John, is that once this task of identifying rentals, whatever we want to call it, because we're not going to just hone in on short-term rentals. Right. It's going to encompass rentals. It's going to encompass businesses, and different businesses that are here, because if we're going to say Airbnb is a business, well, there are other businesses here at the lake. So
Sure.
you're right. You're going to contend with a lot.
Mhm.
So one of my questions to you is, the people that you have on this list, and I'm going to tell you, and I will explain this all to the board because we haven't gotten there yet, but Colleen Sokolowski and Lisa Hober, you and I had the conversation, and they want to be on a different committee, and we'll get to that, but
Okay.
so we're going to take them off of your committee.
That's fine. I've got too many as it is.
Okay, so which leaves me with this question to you, without pointing out anybody.
Mhm.
You feel like you have an equal committee where there are for and against members?
I don't think it's equal, but clearly there's, representatives of 2 or 3 that I know have businesses already. There seems to be more people open to the possibility of allowing them with restrictions and controls. And then there's a few that diametrically oppose any rentals.
Okay,
So I think there's a reasonable mix of folks there.
okay, that was one of my biggest concerns, because I think going forward, if the representation is lopsided, that's when we're going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Because it is such a contentious subject.
Mhm. Mhm.
So as long as you're comfortable, I know you've met and talked with most everybody.
Yeah, there's a few, and honestly, it's going to be very contentious. It's already starting out to be contentious with the phone calls I've gotten. So, having said that, there may be a time when I have to approach the board to have someone removed from the committee, and we're going to play by Robert's rules, which is clear in our charter, and I'll enforce that. I'm not going to have any name calling or swearing or, this kind of stuff. And the first time I experience that, I'm going to warn that person. And second warning, the recommendation is to be removed from the board,
Okay,
from the committee.
that's acceptable. I mean, the board will talk about it, and they can be removed.
Right.
If
Yes, I read it. It's in the charter.
right. If they can't maintain decorum.
Right.
And have reasonable, respectful debate, then
Right.
it's not acceptable.
Mhm.
So good for you. Does anybody have any questions for John regarding the rental committee?
Yeah, I think we should call it the rental committee, and for lack of a better term, but short-term rental kind of implies we've already conceded that short-term rentals are going to be allowed.
I agree with you, or they're the main focus, and really it's more. So the standing committee says that once this comes to you come up with objectives and answers and so forth, you're not going to dismantle. You don't have one task. We're going to keep you on board for
as long as I live. Is like a marriage commitment now?
Yes.
Be
yes.
careful what you volunteer for.
I know. That's fine.
So
That's fine.
we don't want to.
It's going to be an evolutionary process, with like Dave, you said, there could be someone under 25 renting the place. If we decide to limit age, how do you enforce that?
Right.
Strangely enough, we have the right to empower constables in our we're not going to go there and do that.
Right.
But there has to be a protocol. And, when I spoke to someone like Allison, she was amenable to putting language in rentals. She was amenable to incurring fines. I said, do you get a retainer for damages? And she said, yes. I said, so if the police arrive because of bad behavior and issue a citation, it goes to the property owner, which is you. And I said, so that could possibly come out of, the retainer that you have. And she said, absolutely. So, others may be opposed to that kind of thing, but we'll see where it goes.
Yep.
Well, I have to personally say thank you for taking this on and
Yes.
sharing it.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, John.
That, you know what, it needs to be done. Honestly, I didn't think it was such a problem. It hasn't occurred in the properties around me. But then thinking about it, I said, you know, I thought about buying one of the houses that may be for sale and flipping it. I wouldn't want to own it and rent it. I wouldn't want the responsibility, the nuisance of it, but I can see others doing that.
Yeah. And there's people that, like the guy who lives on Laurel Lane, his sole reason for buying that is it's a business. He's making money.
Yep.
You know, he may have said that he comes to the cottage, but I live up. He never comes. If he comes, it's very rare. Well, every week it's full of cars from all over the place, and my spin on it is, I know you had mentioned about whether or not it's a business. I've read that many, many times, and my understanding is, if you own a business and you live at Lake Hayward, like we have carpenters and roofers,
Mhm.
That's their home. The building on Airbnb, the cottage itself is the business.
Mhm.
And to me, that's where you separate.
You know, I tend to agree with you, Dave, and I fully understand, but I think we probably need legal advice on that.
Yeah, you got to flush it out, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, thank you for getting involved. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So should we have a vote, or does anybody have any further questions for John?
Well, I think, have you voted already to establish this committee?
That's what we're going to do.
Okay.
next.
And
I
then
think.
select members for it. Mhm.
I'm sorry.
And then select members for it?
So we would do that in conjunction with you. You've had a chance, I think, to speak with all of them except for Patty Simonelli.
Right, I'll give her a call.
But so we can do that in conjunction with you. I mean, the obvious is that we're trying to keep a balance, and
Mhm.
you're on top of that. So,
Good.
So does anybody want to make a motion?
So we're looking, I'd be willing to make a motion to form a committee to look into researching rentals at the lake.
Second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any debate? Any further debate?
No.
Everybody in favor of forming the committee for the rental committee here at the lake? Aye. Motion carries. Congratulations,
Thank you.
John. So we'll be in touch. But what I'd like to ask, if you could, John, so typically at our monthly board meeting, if you don't plan on attending, because now you'll be a part of our agenda as a committee. If you don't want to attend, I'll reach out to you and say, do you have a report for us? You know, kind of where you're at, what you've done, and we can read the report, or alternatively, you can attend virtually, in person.
Yeah, I plan to attend virtually until the season is on. Then I'll be down at the cottage more often, obviously. So I can attend in person at that point. And if I don't, for some reason, I can provide you a brief report of where we stand.
Excellent.
Okay.
I have a clarification question. So Lynn had signed up, but then
Yes.
she wasn't on the committee because she was on the board, but now she's no longer on the board. So is she back on the committee?
We don't know. John, Lynn Chrissy is no longer on the board of governors.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not sure, my only, I hate to say, my only contention.
Well, she's
the tax
treasurer,
collector.
right?
Oh,
And,
Tax collector.
Sorry, Laura, you froze up there for a moment.
oh, I'm sorry. She's our tax collector.
Tax collector. Well, that's actually good. That could be a resource for us because there could be an economic impact associated with the rentals.
Right. So as long as you're comfortable with that and
I'm fine.
understand that, you know,
Yes.
okay. So, yeah, so by all means,
And I spoke to Chris about it, so he's already sent me an email, recusing himself from the committee. So,
right.
but again, it could be in a position as an advisor.
Right. And, you know, and I also will give you all of the, and I don't know if I've done that yet. Well, because you didn't have an official committee, but I'll give you all of the board members' email addresses. So
Okay.
should you want to email the whole board, you can do that as well.
Okay.
And then, let me just think about that.
You know, I think it would be best, Lori, if I presented at your board meetings and do it that way rather than reach out to individual members. I think you have that sense of collusion, you know?
I totally agree. So, okay, as long as you're okay with that,
Mhm.
I do agree. I think that's the better way to do it.
Okay. Alrighty, so, are you done with me for this evening?
You don't want to stick around for the meeting?
I just, I will be in touch. How's that?
Okay, that's fine. Just let me know about who should participate on it.
Okay,
And I'll reach out to, Patty Simonelli, tomorrow.
okay. And then we'll correspond with that and just like I said, as long as we come up with a balance of people. So I don't know if you want to reach out to Lynn and see where she stands as well now. She wants to remain on the committee or?
Yeah, let me do that, more as a courtesy than anything else, but you know, if we have a good balance of people who want to work to develop some rules and regulations and those who absolutely don't want rentals and those who adamantly want rentals because they've invested in the properties. And I think that's part of the problem here too. So what I did is the language is actually quite good in the charter about applying to the board for permission. That's not happened, obviously. But since these people have already invested in the properties on the premise that they're going to rent them, we probably should have caught that some time ago. But how do you know? You know?
It's very true. And you know, I mean, we're all volunteers on the board and the board.
Yes.
Changes.
Right.
So with
But
information in an evolution, it's really hard. We're trying hard at that now with our Google Suites
Mhm.
and trying to keep everything so that boards, you know, going forward have that information.
Right.
One of the biggest problems has been for a long time is making rules is one thing, is forcing them is a separate issue. And we've always had issues with that.
Yep. Yep. We'll have to think that one out, Dave. You're right.
You know, it's easy to make a rule. Even look at the issues with people parking without parking passes. You know, it's hard to enforce the rules.
Yeah. I mean, I don't expect Phil to be walking around all the beaches all day long, you know.
No, right.
Right.
And you know, and like you said, John, yes, in our language, we can make people constables, but who wants to do that?
No, I know. Exactly.
Who wants to be the neighbor that's
No.
the constable?
Right.
So it's tough.
No, I know. It's, you know, it's a volunteer group. I get it. Everybody wants to enjoy the lake.
Yes.
Okay, folks. So I'll wait for you, Lori, to get back to me.
All right. Thank you
All
for
right,
taking on this challenge, really.
All right.
Thanks, John. Thank you.
Well, Happy birthday. I don't think
Thank
you heard.
you. Sorry, I
Wow.
was totally forgot already.
Okay. So sorry being cryptic about who's on and who's not, but I want to talk about it later in the agenda. And I just got the information tonight, so so that's where that kind of sat. So that's great. We're moving along with that. And I did see the picture of the bus and there was like, I can't even tell you how many cars were in that driveway. And then a bus pulled up alongside. It's just like, I was with my daughter at the time when I got the text. It was, yeah, it was interesting. Okay, so let's see. So now we're going to do association services. So Lynn, Lisa, and
I'm
I'm
coughing. Sorry.
So we talked about this, and this is a little change to the agenda, where, like Lisa said, we felt these aren't really committees. Actually, Geese is kind of, but, they weren't really committees. They're more of a, service. So we kind of separated them out a little bit. So we'll start with communications. And so Gary Cohen does want to return. Rachel is not returning. However, this also goes into the new webmaster, which may be a fix.
All of this.
Some of this.
I used to do the newsletter.
I know he did. So, but you know, he's, so everybody knows Mike Troche is stepping down, right? After December 31st. So I did put out for a webmaster, so we'll get to that too. I'm trying to stay with the agenda, and things are kind of running into each other a little bit, but, Lynn was going to update and maintain constant contact as far as, you know, the influx of the tax collector. She gets the new addresses and new residents. So I would check with her and see how she wants to, you know, transfer that information now. You know, what she wants to do when she gets a new resident or residential change of address through the town of East Haddam, they go to her. And so that's a information area. So I want to check with her now to see how we're going to get that over, unless she still wants to update constant contact with that, which I'm thinking, I don't really know.
She didn't say that in her email, so
She what?
she did not say that in her email.
Right. So that's why I'll ask her. So either way, if she doesn't, that's okay. But to transfer that information to somebody who's going to do that, would be something the tax collector would do, and vice versa. Whoever will get an email from somebody in the community that says, hey, this is my new address. Sometimes I'll get them and I would forward them to Rachel or whoever. So we have to figure that out. Right now, not a big deal. It's off season is what I'm saying. So we're still a little bit on the, you know, the next meeting, I think we'll probably shore it up where that'll stand. And then I think I did put webmaster on here too. So I did put out a blast for a new webmaster, and I surprisingly got some really good, interested people. Great. 3 of them build and maintain websites. One of them used to be a board member, and did proof the newsletter and so forth. And I'm thinking she might be good at doing the little Rachel part for Gary. But I haven't talked to anybody yet. I wanted to mention it, that I did get really good responses, and I'm happy about it.
Do we get to decide on that?
Yeah, so I want to
talk to people.
I want to reach out to them first and see kind of what their interest, their experience, and what kind of formats they have, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
So one of the 4 was somebody that does reside at the lake, and obviously anything that we do is preferential to. But yeah, there are.
How did they get that? How did they respond to that if they were not even a POLA member? How did they even get that email blast, and how did they respond to that?
So
That's
it
not
was
right.
somebody that is a POOLA member that said, hey, I know somebody that would
Oh.
do this for the stipend, however, they don't live at the lake. Let me know if you need the help,
Oh, okay.
which was very nice.
Okay.
Um,
I'm just glad it wasn't somebody actually not a member that's responding to your blast.
right, which is true, but no.
Okay. All right.
Good question. Not really. But yeah, that's how. And if needed be, that would be an alternative.
Okay.
But I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to be good. Like I said, 3 really good candidates.
Excellent. That's good to hear.
Yeah. So that might fix communications.
But Lori, what's your time frame on that? Because I know Mike said he'd work with people until what, the end of
December 31st.
Yeah, so you
And
don't have
then
much time.
it's,
Well-
yeah, but then he would,
charge $100
Oh, that's
a
right.
month after that.
Okay.
Right now, we're paying him $1,000 stipend, so that's $1,200, so it's really
Okay.
not that much different.
Okay.
So if you wound up staying on another month or two and,
Okay.
but hopefully not.
Have you already paid the stipend for the whole year? At least Hober, have we paid that?
No, December 31st would be,
They get half the stipend. So he got a stipend in June. He'll get a stipend in December, towards the end of December.
So you're not gonna pay that, right?
Yeah, because he's doing the work from June through December.
his
He'll get a
last
stipend.
payment will be the 31st.
Oh, and that covers the previous 6 months?
Right,
Oh, I'm sorry, got
Yeah.
it, check, okay,
do the work, get paid
Okay.
a stipend.
got it.
So, the larger stipends we split in half every 6 months.
Okay.
The shorter stipends like, water testing and newsletter we do, because it's in that season.
All right, so, anyway, so we'll talk about that. I'll reach out to, I just got all the people, I'll reach out to them. I want to kind of see what their platform is and, are they familiar with WordPress and all of that? And, either we can rebuild and, expound on the site. And Mike did offer some things that he was looking to do, which I never heard anything about any of that. So I will pass that along too.
Okay.
So maybe it's worth keeping the site and just upgrading, updating it.
So once you vet those 3 candidates, what's the next step?
So once I vet those 3 candidates, then I'll run it by the board. The next board meeting is January. However, we're going to talk about a special meeting. So we may even be able to just slip that in on the agenda. We really have a lot on our plate.
There's a lot to do.
We really do. Maybe that could be slipped in on that special meeting. Because by then, hopefully I'll have already spoke with all of them and so maybe we could get somebody on board that can cross over with Mike a little bit if he's willing to do that.
Good.
no comment.
Next.
Excuse me. Okay, so, geese.
We were doing really well. Most of them are gone within the last week. Our 7 residents have returned.
7, that's not bad.
No, they come back every year. Those are the ones that lay the nests in the spring. So I went down with my little remote control boat today, but somebody was taking their boat out, so they had already gone out to the middle of the lake. So I'll go down tomorrow again. But they are. Somebody told me last week they were there, and I went down and I walked all the beaches, and there wasn't any evidence. Now there is.
I heard them the other day.
There's poop all over the place over there. Somebody is shooting them.
Well, it is season.
It's
Yeah, I
hunting,
know.
it's hunting
It's not,
season.
well, it was
It is.
October, it was.
It
October,
is,
but I don't
but you
know about now.
cannot. On this field,
Yeah, but do you know they're shooting at geese or are they shooting at?
I've heard shots. I've heard shots.
But-
We're doing something.
But they could be hunting in Chagru.
Isn't it deer season also?
It is.
Yeah,
season,
so they could be
You
hunting.
could have been hearing that.
Has to be 600 yards between
Not yard.
between you and a property before you can shoot.
I think it's,
Clear target with a
Right.
backstop.
These houses up here, that field isn't that wide.
But did you see them there, is what I'm saying, or did you hear it? Because
I
that
heard
travels.
the noise. I scared them one day up here, probably a month ago. 2 minutes later, I heard, I don't know, it sounded like a gun, and they all came back down. I'm like, what the- scared them back up there.
Oh, so do you think somebody's trying to scare them?
Could be.
Oh. I don't know.
I don't know.
I know they just hate again,
Yeah, what you said.
so
I don't know. But somebody else has told me they've heard loud noises.
Because the gunshots travel, especially if they're in Chagrin.
It could be the back of Allegra's. He's got all kinds of property back there.
Yeah,
It is
could be.
22
I
acres.
don't know. So,
So,
And he could allow people to hunt on there. That's hard, yeah.
anyway, that's
Okay.
it.
Okay, I reached out to Phil, on properties. He had nothing to report. Everything's quiet. Everybody's boats need to be off the racks by
Wednesday.
tomorrow.
Halloween,
Wednesday.
15.
October 31st, I thought it was.
Wednesday.
No,
We
November
approved it.
15th, November
Okay,
15th.
November 15th, yeah, that's
Wednesday.
2 days.
Remember extended that because your routers were complaining it's still nice.
Yes,
People are still
Yeah.
saying-
Yeah,
we extended on both ends, which we just have to change the rules and regs.
that's fine. Yep.
So there are still some boats on Second Beach. There's some down by me.
And mine are at,
And I
Little
have
Beach.
been knocking on neighbors' houses down by my area and there's a really nice kayak down there, so somebody better clean it.
First Beach.
No, my end.
Oh, all the way down on the reserve beach.
Yeah,
I always forget about
yeah, it's
that
not
there's
really
a
a
boat,
beach, just a dock.
but that's nice though.
I do have a question about properties. Why are all the picnic, we're getting questions, I'm getting questions, why are all the picnic tables turned upside down so that they can't be used during the winter when we have people, year-round residents,
Dave, can you answer that?
like,
I can't answer why they are now. I know when I was doing properties in the past, I tip them all on top of each other and chain them all together because we had, some of them were stolen during the winter time, a few, back when I was doing properties. But,
We also had somebody living up on.
yeah, that was in the old pavilion.
that was the old one.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
So if somebody wanted to use it, we could take another one down.
you have to ask Phil. He might be the one that flipped them over. I don't know.
Okay.
So your question is why, so do you want to email Phil and copy the board and say why
That we've been asked,
do you want to do that?
Sure.
It's all you, honey.
Sure.
he still has the properties email.
Okay. Anything else on properties? Okay, technology, again, with the email addresses, we're all flopping around again, so everybody hang tight.
It's tough when you look on the contact page and
It really is, but we keep all flopping
you
around.
don't know who's where and who and.
So hopefully, anyways.
Okay.
And that's really all I have to say about technology. The other thing about technology, and I think I said it last time, and this is on my brain, is I do think it's pertinent to get an external hard drive and back everything up that's on our cloud. Because if anything ever happened, all our information that we've worked so hard to put on there
It's gone.
is gone.
How much do you need? Like a terabyte, 2 terabytes?
Dave, I'm thinking bigger than that because
Okay.
if you go with like 10 terabyte, it'll last.
Yeah.
You know, something to pass on.
Yeah.
To future boards.
Yeah, that's fine. I was just curious.
Just a thought.
Yep.
And I'm trying to get more and more and more stuff on there.
Doesn't through Google Suite, they don't back stuff up?
I mean, I guess what I'm looking at is if anything ever happened to Google Suites, we're relying solely on them.
But that's why we're paying them.
Yeah, but if something happened to if they got hacked by
Oh, yeah, right.
their, everything's gone.
And hold us for ransom.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Even annually, if this gets backed up,
Yeah.
or every 6 months or something.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that, but I don't know how you would do it, but that's, in theory, I have no problem with it.
Something to look into. So that, and then still getting all those passwords that we talked about. I have not reached out. Mike Troche did give me one of his passwords. I still need the QDS, some from Lisa, and I'm gonna put those on the drive in a secure drive. But that's it for technology, unless anybody has anything.
I finished updating the restaurants things. I actually added another one today. Totally forgot about the new Colchester donut place. So
Where's that?
Where's that?
it's no Red Roses
Yeah.
down past them on the right. It used to be a bar called the Hideaway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's a-
donut place now?
It's a donut and cafe, and it is owned by they are Greek, so they have things like falafel, and
Oh,
Wow.
Oh,
I think they're open till 3.
Okay.
So I added that. They don't have a web page yet. Where are we putting that on our site? Is that up to?
I think,
Actually, not the site. I'm going to send it to Mike.
Right.
He can do whatever he does on a drive, which, on our shared drives.
okay. So maybe,
Should we make a new,
we could,
so there's web info? I don't know. I don't know where to put it.
sounds good.
Because it's done. I didn't forward it to everybody because I just put that donut place on.
That was awesome, though. You
Thank
you
you.
put that, you did that, you did the churches
Yeah.
or the places of worship, yeah.
Not that many of those.
But still, there was 5 or 6,
Yeah.
or I think, right?
I only did Colchester. I
Oh.
didn't do East Haven, other than the Gelston House. Most of what I did was Colchester.
It was an impressive list, honestly.
Thank you.
It was, yeah,
Really
that's awesome. For anybody that comes here,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was time consuming.
Oh, yeah. I imagine.
I'm still learning the streets. I am. So yeah, if you want to create one,
All right.
have one, whatever you want to call it, website, info,
information.
Yeah, how about web info?
great.
We'll send it to Mike to put on
Love it.
our website.
All right. Awesome. Anything else on technology? Okay. Water testing. Lisa Long is not coming back. So we need a new water tester. So if anybody knows of anybody, it's great for like a college kid or somebody, $1,000 stipend. However,
You gotta drive them.
they have to be able to drive and they have to have transportation, because they have to, I'm pretty sure they have to drive to Manchester. But Lisa is willing to train anybody, turnover. She still has equipment. She has sample equipment. And I'm saying that to all of you in case anybody knows anybody.
Are you gonna do email blast?
I will. But it's kind of early.
I don't think anything's too early, but
I can do that. Yeah.
I don't know.
I can
I'm
do-
just thinking, we've got a lot of stuff, right?
we have so much on our plate. So
Did she text her on that
just,
these months?
July and August.
no,
Yeah,
just
July and August?
during the summer. I think it's 13 months, Lisa. I mean,
Weeks,
13
yeah.
weeks, that she does. She gave me the whole thing.
We
Which
do a spreadsheet? Because whoever did water testing before Lisa,
yeah, what was her name?
was
Kathy
that,
Peterson did it for a while. Gary Peterson's wife did it for a while, didn't she?
and then was it Jan?
That's who it was. Yes.
Andy Pratty?
Yeah, the one that lives up by Cindy.
Lives next to Cindy, yeah.
She had some kind of spreadsheet or something, but I don't know if she ever shared that.
I'll talk to her. Okay.
But I know some people were going to do it and then found out that they had to keep track of it on a spreadsheet and said no.
Well, some people don't have computers here.
Mm.
And that's, I mean, that
Yeah.
happened in the budget committee. There were a couple people that didn't have computers. They had to use their phones. So we had to improvise. Anything else on water testing? Okay. So then, Evelyn, I just wanted to ask you, because now we're going to go into committee reports, but are you comfortable with geese being a service, or do you feel like it's more of a committee?
A committee of one.
Well, I know, that's why we kind of said it was a service. So, but,
It doesn't matter to me.
okay,
It's just me.
okay.
So,
It's on here,
I
so,
mean, I have some helpers, but there isn't really, we started as a committee. And then it just kind of,
right. And we can still blast in the spring, and see. We can call them patrollers. We can call them
yeah, that worked out well too.
whatever you want. It doesn't hurt to try.
Do you want to own it yourself, or did
No.
you want, okay.
I had last year, I don't know if I told you guys this, at last year's meeting, I had a bunch of people sign up, emailed them, got their addresses, dropped off the red bandanas at people's houses. And at that point, that's from the June meeting, because at that point we couldn't harass because they were molting.
Yeah.
So I sent emails when it was time and said, okay, let me know what beach, what time works for you, what days. One person replied out of the 6.
Gail Kincaid, she really standing by Little Beach. There's the red house, and then Gail is next to it. She might really be interested. I know her. You want me to ask? I mean, do
Sure.
you want people to help you?
Yes.
Okay, because she said she would be willing to help.
Lynn Chrissy walks her dog every morning at 6:30 and texts me.
Okay.
She is
She's part of your committee.
my 6:30 wake up call. He would text me, I get up, grab the boat, go down and harass them. So I kind of got frustrated because, I had all these people wanting to volunteer and then nobody replied. One person replied.
Well, we'll do it again just to be.
Okay.
Thank goodness
And
we
her,
have you,
right?
Evelyn.
I know.
Honestly.
Yeah, my husband thinks I'm out of my mind.
Okay. So I think we're on committee reports now. Bylaws. So, bylaws, and this kind of crosses over into John Gilmore's, list of people. In the last meeting we talked, we said, the quorum for bylaws committee is 3. And we said, if we can get more people, more representation, it takes load off of the committee always trying to make sure they have a quorum when you have extra people, plus it's more representation. So I think we all agreed that was kind of okay to do, and we were all for it last meeting. I did get so I got 3 people from Second Beach. I got 2 people from Third Beach, and I got 1 person from First Beach. So what I prefer to do is do the 2 from Second, 2 from Third, and 2 from First. So we would need another person from First Beach. So I could solicit for somebody from First Beach. I think it's equal representation for bylaws.
Can they be a board member?
So because the community is so active right now in a lot of things, Evelyn, the preference is no.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense.
And the same thing with the rental committee. We said the same thing because ultimately it comes back to us. The bylaws ultimately come back to us for approval.
No, I agree. Just
So give the membership more of a voice, right? So I talked to Colleen Sokolowski today, and she's one of the people that's from Third Beach. And we had a long talk, and I asked her if she'd be interested in chairing the bylaws. And she was also very passionate about the rental committee. And I told her, I said, and John Gilmore and I talked about this. I said, you kind of got to decide between the 2 because they're both very you know, the rental committee is going to kind of rely on the bylaws committee to work with whatever they come up with. And I think it's just conflictual to have the same person on both committees. I don't know how you all feel about that, but John agreed with me. Does anybody have any input?
It'd be better to have different people involved.
I would agree.
Yeah, the more voices you have, the better.
We can get them.
I think
Yeah.
so too.
And I think
So-
wherever Colleen goes, she's a home run. Colleen is a great person. She would be really good on either committee.
So I got Colleen, no, I'm not going to say it like that. So Colleen agreed. Colleen agreed to chair, but she did ask for logistics and so forth. She was a little overwhelmed. So I offered Lisa Hoger, also being on the committee last year, understands the process. There are strong time constraints and so forth. So I asked her, I said, would you feel comfortable perhaps with a co-chair? And she said, yes, yes. And so she said, you know, I will do the dog share, the lion's share of everything. She said, but she would be happy with that. So I asked Lisa if she would be willing to co-chair. And she said yes. So I thought that was a great,
Good.
So Colleen is third beach, Lisa is second beach. The rest of the people, for bylaws, for second beach. Here it is right here. Second beach, I got, and this is in the order in which I received them. I don't know a lot of these people, which I'm very okay. Actually, I prefer that. So I'm going to go by the order in which I received them. So Lisa, second beach, Richard Butler, also second beach. So those two people I was thinking. I did receive a third person from second beach, which is Justin Bradley. But he was the last one I got in. And then I have first beach, either Rob or Carol Wright. I told him I will not both. So one of them. And then I don't have another first beach person. And then third beach is Colleen and Anne Marie Kelly, who's on Glimmer Glen. I don't know Anne Marie either.
She's the one where the geese had the nest last year.
Oh, that's where they were?
On the dock, right at the peninsula.
Oh, okay. So are they,
Is that Gail Gregorczyk's old house? Is she
Yeah,
by Gail's house?
right on the peninsula. The peninsula goes right out from her property.
Yeah.
So-
Yep.
Yeah,
did you and I walk on that, Evelyn, on the right side of the peninsula or on the left side of the peninsula?
if you go down, so the right side is that fence. I mean,
Right.
the left side, it's the fence. And if you go right down her property, there's the
Okay.
dock and peninsula's
Yeah.
here. And her-
And it's Gail Gregorczyk's old house.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, not that it really matters. I mean,
Yeah.
Glimmer Glen. So I don't, does anybody have any input in regards to the thought process and the choice of people? So the one I left out was Justin because he was last to respond, and that would be 3 people from second each. So I was trying to keep it even.
So you're gonna solicit somebody from First Beach area, or, I mean, does it really matter that they're from Second Beach? I know you're trying to do this district thing, but
I'm trying, and I'm not doing, definitive lines, but because the bylaws are a big thing, because the membership is so active right now, I'm really trying to be fair, Julia.
I get you're trying to be fair, but you didn't get anyone else who's responding.
Right, not yet.
You could hold off a little bit longer if you think you might, but
So I guess what I'm saying is if anybody knows anybody that might be interested from First Beach, could you reach out? If you know anybody,
didn't the Giacomanos want to be on the bylaw committee?
I could reach out.
I thought I heard someone say So, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I heard that.
I just think-
Never hurts to ask.
And then it would keep it even, 2 from Third Beach, 2 from Second, and 2 from First. I think it's gonna be a big bylaw year.
I think so too.
All right, sounds good.
Hold on.
Sounds good.
Excuse me?
Thank you for agreeing to co-chair.
And is everybody okay with the co-chair?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and it really, I think, you know, I didn't want to overwhelm Colleen. She was like,
She'll dive right in.
she will, she's awesome, she will. And I think her and Lisa work fabulous together, so. Okay, so that was bylaws, happy about that, but we'll see. Hopefully to get another First Beach person.
So would you send out a blast just asking for First Beach, or is that too much?
Well, if we could try to find somebody just by word, I mean, do you know any of your neighbors, Lisa?
I don't think any of my neighbors want to be involved.
I can't think of anybody.
Would Jane Webster do it?
Who?
Jane,
Who's that?
Jane and Brooke?
I don't know them.
Oh. They're like up on the corner of,
Lori, oh, excuse me. What about Diane Nelson?
oh,
Anybody ask her? She might be a good one to ask.
Do it?
okay.
What
Okay,
are you talking about? Gene and Blue.
I can reach out to her
Yeah, you never know. What's that?
unless you want to.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I hate to reach out to people being so far away.
Oh, no.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I know you're talking about gray,
That's a good one.
brownish.
Brownish.
Good
lawns.
thought, Dave. Like it.
Mac.
Yes.
Now what we gotta do is get her to say yes.
Oh, that
Okay,
was a good one, Dave.
yeah. Okay.
You know how those
Uh,
pickleball people are.
Yeah.
They're good people.
All right, so we're moving along here. Budget, so I did get back, some budget people. I got more people for bylaws, but, I did get some budget people. Tish said she'd come back. She did, which was nice. But she did say if you do get somebody else, she said, she would step back, but, she said she would come back. Keith said he'd come back. And then I got, Nancy Kavanaugh. And, which I guess hard to. And then there's one other person I got,
What about Dave Giroux?
Art Kelly, who is Anne Marie's husband. He's from, so I got it. There's First Beach, Second Beach, and 2 Third Beach people. And the quorum is 4. So if we could get more, I would prefer that because there's only 4 so far.
It's good to have 2 returns so that they kind of know,
Yes, definitely.
but none of those 4 do you think want to share?
So my thought was to ask Nancy. So at one point, Nancy was a treasurer for a little while. And so she did come to the budget meetings, a few of them. But I gotta ask her. I don't know if she's listening. but I haven't ran it past her yet. Okay. And unless anybody else has any other thoughts.
Nope.
Everybody okay with who's on there so far? I'm trying to really get representation. It's hard. It's hard. It's really hard because we're all volunteers. So any more budget? We're good on that?
When does bylaws start? Sorry, backing up one.
January 1st.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have to get those people on board, Prontola.
Okay.
The dam, did everybody see that email from Tim today?
Yes.
All right,
That
well,
was a
that,
good email. That was very positive.
it really was. That was great. So when you have a chance, okay. And I don't know if you had anything else to add, Dave.
No, I don't have anything to add, but I was very happy with the email. Things are moving along well.
Right, so the town has, been informed, Deep wanted the town informed, they've been informed. Anyways, in everybody's email. I don't think it's anything we have to announce right now. Okay.
No.
Lake quality, did everybody see the emails from Corinne? If anybody wants to attend any of those meetings,
That last treatment they did work great.
did it?
Oh, yeah, it made a big difference at my end.
Good. Well, so they're trying to put, I think it's Deep is trying to put through, a general permitting. I don't think we qualify though, because we have those red-faced bugs and the
Yeah.
salamanders or whatever they are down the, I don't know.
Yeah, at my end, it's 3 protected species of flies.
Some kind of red beetle,
Yeah.
red something, yeah.
Flies.
And then minnows or something down the,
That's that one.
yeah. So unfortunately, I don't think we qualify, but we're permitted for the next 2 seasons anyways.
Good.
Anything else on lake quality? And if anybody knows anybody that wants to be, that's interested in getting on lake quality, Corinna said to me several times, she's really looking for people to get on board and some other people to learn. If you know anybody. Hey. Anything else on lake quality? Okay. I keep looking down there, but it's just, you're looking at me for. Nominating is actually on our agenda next. I think we're going to kind of go into that into new business. So if we need to ask Lisa anything, I think we can do that if everybody's okay with that. Okay, tennis pickleball. Don't know that there's any updates on that. Oh, he was eating it, Lisa. He's eating his food there. Oh, he brought it over. Yeah, okay, yeah. He likes a tablecloth. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Sorry. Anybody have anything on tennis pickleball? Okay. I didn't have anything on that. Unfinished business?
The only thing that we had talked about in the past was maybe changing the date on the carnival. Or yes, change the date of carnival. We kind of touched base on it, but we really didn't follow through. Or
Did you want to do that in the bylaws, or that would be the Lake Hayward days? That would be bylaws, right? To change, because
and I don't know. I guess my question is, does carnival have to be tied with Lake Hayward days? Is that? I mean, it's always been the same, but does it have to be? That was my. Or when the bylaws committee starts, I would love to make a presentation to the bylaw committee to suggest changing some of this. Maybe that's how we should handle it.
Maybe Dave, maybe we have, so once the bylaw committee forms and they have their first meeting, maybe they
Right.
come to the first board meeting after that, and we can all,
That's fine. Yeah, good idea.
because I think everybody has a lot of ideas on,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm like I told you before, my whole goal is to make it so we have more kids there.
okay. Well, and I'm looking at Lisa because we know that for the last 2 years, she's done carnival too, so.
Right. Yep.
I thought it's done during Lake Hayward days, but it's not, doesn't have to be.
Right. Yeah. My suggestion is to make it in the middle of the summer instead of the end, just a carnival. But like, if you want to wait until the bylaw committee gets together and we can discuss it, that's probably the proper venue.
Well, because we also changed the Lake Hayward Days week last year, right?
Right,
So that would need to be a bylaw change, because I think it's the bylaws, right?
right. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Dave, how did Diane feel about that?
I think she kind of was on board with the idea of changing. Because we have noticed over the last few years that the kids are going back to school so early now.
Yeah.
You know, at one point you didn't go to school till after the holiday when I was a kid. Now it's going way back, but I mean, you know, kids are in school real early. And I feel like a lot of them just don't have the opportunity to come to Carnival because they go to school so early. If we put Carnival the first week of August, then nobody's in school the first week of August. And that's, you know, that's my whole motivation in talking about changing is just for that.
Her preference would be to keep it August, not July, though.
Well, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I don't really care what the date is as long as it's earlier in the year. That's my point.
So in the bylaws, it just talks about Lake Hayward Days, doesn't specifically say the carnival.
Right. So
Right.
we're trying to distinguish, Julia,
Yeah,
whether
right.
it is a part of it or it's not, or,
Right.
As long as you make that decision before Lynn books bands.
I know, and she's already booking bands.
Good point.
Yeah.
Really
So
good point.
it may not happen this year, Dave, but if
Right.
it doesn't happen this year,
We have to get the wheels of progress turning. That's all I'm saying.
okay. I mean, it probably could, but depending on what Lynn has done.
Doesn't, if she's, well, they have not booked anything yet. I mean, check.
Okay. Okay,
That's all
any
I've got.
unfinished business? I have one thing if, unless anybody else has something. I sent out an email asking everybody about the special meeting date. Julia, you responded and said any of those dates. So it was Tuesday, and I was trying to go with the Monday theme because we always meet on a Monday. So, but the Tuesday after Thanksgiving was, so I did Tuesday, November 28th, Monday, December 4th, or Monday, December 11th. Do any of those work for you, Dave?
The November one, probably, I mean, although I'll be in Connecticut for Thanksgiving, I won't have time for any meetings because I'm with the family. Let me see. What was the second one? December?
4th. It's a Monday.
Jury duty. What's
Lucky
the,
you.
oh boy, yeah. The 11th was the next one.
Yes.
The 11th looks good. Yeah, I don't have anything planned on the 11th.
Oh,
Isn't jury duty during the day?
Okay, Evelyn. Yes, it is.
Got you, she got
Nice
you.
try, Dave.
all right. So
Put it this way. Yeah, either one in December is okay with me. You're right, Ev.
Whatever. I replied, I was okay with any.
Yes,
day.
Yeah.
you were okay with any days.
And Chris is, he gave preference to two, I think.
To be, okay,
Yeah.
I don't know if I saw it.
I don't have mine on my phone.
Okay, but all right, so,
But he
so,
did respond.
so, all right, so as long as we know, we're good. And then I just wanted to say, I didn't get the cards yet, but now we have
Oh,
two
good.
outgoing gifts. So one's for
Oh.
Hema and one's for Lynn.
Nice.
I know we didn't vote, but I'm assuming we're gonna
Oh.
give Lynn a gift.
Yes,
I didn't think anybody would have heartache because,
What,
Oh, Phil.
yeah, I was just gonna say, what about Phil?
oh God.
Yeah, so
So
Who's first?
one more will come. And then I need to get a card. How do you guys want me to do the card? I mean, it's hard to get us all together because we're not all here. And
Oh,
I,
yeah, right, yeah. I think you could just sign it from the board.
on behalf of the
Okay.
board,
Yeah, on
okay,
behalf of the board.
nation,
okay, thank
we
you.
won't sue you guys, you're not yours.
Thank you.
Or you could
Yeah.
sign my name. Yeah.
Okay.
that's fine.
All right. And, yes, I do feel bad. We forgot Phil. Dang. Okay. There's just so much happening.
I don't see anything from Chris.
yeah, he's in there. I saw it.
Did you?
Yeah. Chris,
I
listen.
can leave you.
Okay, I just, whatever, so I'm gonna take Tuesday, November 28th right out of the running because it is really close to Thanksgiving and doesn't work for Dave anyway, so.
Yep.
All right, so the gifts, new business, unless anybody else has anything else unfinished? Okay, so,
I'm sorry, can I just clarify? So we have 2 dates, the 4th or the 11th. We're just gonna see what Chris chose and then assume you'll send an email.
hold the thought just for a second. So the 4th or the 11th, and we said we're gonna slip in there, what did we just say we were gonna?
Carnival talk.
No,
No.
no, it was in the beginning of the meeting. We said we were gonna slip in, the bylaws, approval? No, webmaster.
Yeah,
It was the webmaster. So I will, reach out to all of them, try to get a little bit of a basic bio, like they're good with WordPress or whatever. So we'll do that in a special meeting so we can get somebody on board before Mike gets, if everybody's okay with that. Okay, new business, board vacancies. I have little to say about it. We have 2 qualified people. So far, in the last, I don't know how many meetings, we're scrambling to make sure we have a quorum. I think representation for each one of us is a lot. So to always be down board members is.
I
You
would
said
like
you
to
had,
feel-
you said you had 2 people who are interested. Did I hear you correctly?
Yes, so we have 2 people that have been vetted by the nominating committee this summer. And I had the nominating committee reach out to them, 3 people, actually. It was Jim Bennett from Third Beach,
All right.
Craig Montanari, he's at First Beach, and
Chaplain.
Jeff Flynn, who's
Yep.
also at First Beach. So, unfortunately, Jim Bennett declined. He said he's no longer available. And so we have Jeff and Craig that are available, both ready, willing, and able. Both of those terms expire this August. So if they wanted to come back, of course, they would be voted into membership.
I served on the board with Jeff when I first came to the lake. He's a good guy, Jeff Flynn. Yeah, he'd be a good choice.
So, but we have 2
we
vacancies.
need both of them.
So
Right,
we
yeah.
need-
No, I don't know the other one. I'm just saying, I'm speaking up for Jeff. I don't know the other person.
Greg is pretty new to the lake.
Okay,
Right.
He's a big guy, very smart.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
And
Yes.
So what do you need? Do you need somebody to
motion.
say, let's nominate these 2 people? Okay, I'll do that. I'll make a nomination. We accept the 2 people we have who are interested for the board.
I'll
You put the
second.
names down.
Okay, so
I have a
everybody,
question.
oh, go ahead.
Oh, discussion.
Sorry.
That's right.
Who's gonna do first and who's gonna do third?
Okay,
'Cause it's Third Beach and First Beach, right?
so,
Vacancy.
yes, so that was the other part of it, and that is why
Sorry, I jumped.
no, I'm glad you said that, Evelyn. I'm glad you did, because both positions, regardless of whether they ended or not, when the board fills the positions, they are always revoted by the membership in August.
Right.
Right.
So
But for now.
there's one that's at large, which is not beach specific. There's one position, and there's another position which was Third Beach. We don't have a qualified person right now for Third Beach. So they're both from First Beach.
Right.
So how do we decide?
Does it really matter? I'm a First Beach person. As a Third Beach, there's a comment from the public.
So no, it's comment from nominating committee. So Lisa, by all means, if you have something you would like to contribute.
So I had conversation with both individuals because initially there was one vacancy open, so there was two people. And then when there became two, so I only had a conversation about the at-large position. So when the second position came up, I needed to make sure both individuals were okay with being considered for third beach because they had only talked to me about at-large. Both have the same concerns that seems like everybody does, that, you know, this 1.5 miles makes a huge difference as to how you can relate to somebody at the same lake. However, if districts are what they are, both had concerns about being a third beach representative and not knowing. My response was, you're not required to flutter around the beach and say, hey, I'm here, I'm your representative. You are required to answer the call if somebody from that beach were to ask you a question, have a concern. I said, and you have a backing, you have a board. So it's not like you'd be, you know, sailing in unknown waters. The thing about, you know, generally how this works is that if, you know, if somebody's holding a position in August or, you know, July, and they decide that they want to stay on the board, generally, we've been through this a few times, that person probably gets endorsed by the nominating committee to continue that position. So if you were to take one of these individuals and put them into at-large, probably that person would. However, this upcoming season, if there were other individuals from other beaches that were not planning on returning, that third beach representative could in turn say, okay, well then I would go for that position.
Right, right.
That's all unknown.
Right, right.
So, you know, my first thing is that Jeff Flynn is legacy around here, that at large is a 3-year position. I personally would like to see commitment to this board as a nominating, you know, committee person for the last 2 years. I'd like to see commitment. So, and not that we don't see that from Craig, we do. Craig, actually, we had a great conversation. He's very committed to this culture staying what it is. He's concerned that if this board continues to run lean, if it continues to have, you know, issues, then this community may change, and he bought into this community for his family. He wants it to continue. So he's very committed to this culture. So there's commitment with both people. That gives you a better feel. That's how I looked at it, and those are the conversations I had with those individuals.
So you're not giving us a recommendation based on that, but that's okay.
No, I just wanted to give you the added information
Okay,
that, you know, I mean, I have an opinion, but it's my opinion because it's my opinion. It has nothing to do with, I don't think it's valid because I'm not on the board. So I
Right.
don't want to give that. I just, I wanted you to know that both individuals. And then I know, and I don't know if come August, the next positions that are up are first beach, second beach, Dave. Third beach would be the vacancy.
and
And
at
that
large,
large is those. So really, it's you two. If either one of you two didn't return next year, this person at Third Beach, who really is 1.5 miles away, would have an option at one of those positions. So I don't see a heartache there. If one of you were to step down, and I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't, but I'm sure you would give that nominating committee, and I say that nominating committee because it should be a different nominating committee this year. That nominating committee should have due notice. And I think that I think it would smooth out.
Lisa, let me interrupt. Let me help you with that. I can tell you right now, my intention is not to come back on the board.
Okay, well, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, it may ease the people from First Beach. Like you're saying, first to second is a shorter distance. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
If Jeff was at large and Craig was Third Beach until August, and the
Right.
nominee said, are you interested in returning? And Craig said, yes, they would say, would you be interested in Second Beach?
Right, there you go.
Craig could say, you know what, I prefer to be at second.
Right.
beach.
You
Yeah.
know,
That's fine.
If that's-
I'm sure there'd be somebody, an old nominating committee coaching the thing.
Right. I think at this point, though, we have two individuals. There's a motion on the floor.
Yep.
We should probably vote on the motion.
We had discussion, did we answer?
Well, so Evelyn's question is, and we should decide.
Yes, we have to decide.
We should
yes.
decide
Okay.
who will go in what position and then vote.
May I, well, you want to amend your motion?
Well, it's not an
Oh.
amending. We're not amending. You can,
Okay, make a new motion?
you can amend his motion.
May I amend his motion?
You may.
Okay. He doesn't have to. I move that we accept both of the candidates and we recommend Jeff, the legacy guy, the at-large, and Craig for Third Beach.
Any
That was my
discussion?
motion. That's exactly as I said my motion. You repeated it correctly.
Now,
That's good. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
okay.
You made the motion.
She made the motion, so now there's discussion.
So did
there's-
anyone second the motion?
Well,
You don't have to.
you're amending,
It's.
yes.
Lori, first,
The main motion. You
hold
have-
on a minute. She can't amend my motion. I have to amend it, but I'm agreeing to amend it. So
No,
that's
I made
fine.
it. All right.
That's fine.
Now there's discussion.
So you disagree, Evelyn. So you don't think Jeff should be at large and
I think Jeff, because he's been here for so many years, knows more about how things work and walks this beach, that road almost every day when he was here. We used to call him the mayor.
Yeah, he does.
I think Jeff would be better at Third Beach and Craig at First Beach. Craig is still learning the neighborhood, the neighbors. Jeff Lynn knows more people than us put together. So that is my suggestion. And I have a question. Jeff Lynn, why now?
Excuse
he's
me,
retired.
did you read my email?
Did you?
Yeah, say,
Yeah,
why isn't just,
he's retired. That's what he said. He retired.
because he has been here a while and he's been involved in other stuff.
Kind of the same as me.
Yeah, I retired, so
Yeah,
when I
so,
retired, I got.
yeah, it was like, yeah,
Okay.
I'm for it.
You gotta, Evelyn, you gotta remember Jeff used to run the cakewalk for years, and he just said with him working, it was too much. He retired. He ran the cakewalk this year again. So he's he's getting back involved again.
I know when I first got him, people called him the mayor, but what he did before my time.
All right, so why don't we do this?
Can I ask a question? Do either one of them have a preference? Let me rephrase that. Are either one of them uncomfortable if their first speech to be?
Well, there's no
older
first
positions
speech.
like that?
It's at large, and at large is a position that will step up and fill any position.
Okay.
So at large is Third Beach, Second Beach, First Beach.
Yeah,
It is a position that should be, it's at large.
right.
So, the third, essentially, neither one of them is going to be First Beach. It just
You don't get one.
live down
Sorry.
there.
Oh, that's it. I'm going home.
You're gonna have to say yours, Dave.
That's fine.
I don't know how else to do it. I think you can
No.
just chat.
One of them is
I'm
first
okay.
positions
Listen,
are at-
I'm okay with either person taking either job. I just feel like we need to vote to get both people in, and where they go afterwards doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
I kind of feel the same way,
If they
although
feel that way.
I rather, because he can fill in, because at large can go anywhere, I think Jeff is better at large. I can shepherd the young guy. I'm gonna call him young guy. I can shepherd him from Third Beach. I can take him down and introduce some people.
Yeah, and I don't know anybody from Third Beach or I would, because I
mean, I
he's
know a lot
over
of
my
people from
house
Third Beach.
often.
Okay, now where does he live?
He lives right at the beginning of Ridgewood. He bought,
Lives next door to
Thank you.
Keith and
he's down,
Linda Bailey.
Oh,
And
in the greenhouse.
he bought Spencer's.
In the greenhouse.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I'll go introduce. Our houses are the same.
You can't miss him. He's like
He
2
bought
feet
David's
taller
house?
than me.
I didn't know he bought his house.
No, he bought
He was here before.
Melagonis's house. He bought the next one up. Oh, wait, it's Schraken's and then him. So next to Bailey's. Next one is Bailey's and then the
Okay.
next one is Martin's.
all right, well, let's vote them in first.
Okay.
And then we can further choose. So you seconded the motion and then you amended.
Yes.
So you're,
Sticking with my, I like my thingy. I like those guys for those reasons. But
okay, but that's
That-
your
yeah,
opinion. So we're gonna do, let's do Dave's. We'll do the main motion first. Amending that it's a secondary motion.
Okay.
You can do that, but we'll do Dave's first. So the motion is Jeff Flynn and Craig Montanari to fill both of the vacancies on the board
Correct.
until August 2024. Yeah. All those in favor? Aye. Okay. Motion passes. I'm not even saying the other things.
Yeah.
If I gave you all a piece of paper, except for Dave, if you want to do a closed, so there's no, whatever, thoughts or, you know, we've had a discussion. If you want to do a closed and say who you want to go in what position, we can do that, or
I'm not going to change what my thought. I think ask them if they have a preference.
I have.
she has asked. They
I
don't,
have.
they don't care.
They're,
Yeah.
well, they both expressed the same, like, well, I don't know anybody at Third Beach, and my explanation to them was blah, 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 expires, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, oh, okay. So I take that as they're committed to helping out the board.
for like 8 months.
Yes.
So
Lori.
I seriously,
Well, go ahead, finish what you're saying. I'll wait.
I mean, it's to your point, we're not expected to hang out at a beach, but that you are expected to be responsive to those people. And
Sure.
if they have concern, we have to address it. So if somebody from Third Beach, there's a guy who's been having a question about why the fence got relocated, and Lynn included me in those conversations. So anything that comes in, we would have to address Third Beaches and bring it to the board. I mean, that's kind of what you're doing. You don't have to be
Yes.
down there, you know, having cookouts with them.
Right.
It'd be nice, you know, I just happen to know a lot of people down there, but,
I happen to think that Jeff would be good for at-large, just for the simple reason everybody said that he knows
Legacy.
everything. Yeah, he's been there a long time, and an at-large person could fill a lot of shoes.
All right.
You know, there's
And
nothing to say that it's nothing to say that an at-large person can't help at Third Beach. Doesn't say that. He can. You're at
Correct.
large.
Correct. Yep, I agree, Dave. So
I agree.
two for Jeff at large. Jeff at large?
I'm fine. Either way, I'm fine with whatever they want. And if they're good either way, then sure.
All right, so we'll put Jeff at large and we'll put Craig at Third Beach.
yes, and I'll work, I
Very
will
good.
work. Is he
Okay.
here around?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know the Bucheris?
Yes.
I used to do events. He's very good friends with Angela and Tony.
Okay,
I went to school with them.
All right, so we all agreed. I don't think
All
we
right.
need to.
I'll work with him.
You
Okay.
can't miss it. He's 6'6".
Oh, here,
He's a twin man.
I printed out his bio and he's got a picture.
Oh,
Can you hold it up so I can see a picture?
I think he played pickleball, didn't he?
I can't see the picture. It's too far away.
6, you would know him. If
He's
you
6'6".
I think he
Yeah,
played
he's-
Oh, yeah, yeah. He plays pickleball with us. Yeah, I know who he is.
saw him. Usually wears a hat.
pickleball, so I'll work with him.
Yeah,
Yeah, he seems like a good guy.
he is a good guy.
He's a really good guy. He came
good
to
guy.
the budget town meeting. He came to, what else did I see him at?
Good.
A couple of things he's come to.
Perfect.
Finance guy. I think.
Excellent. You just think he's bad?
I have a new business question, or is it time for that or not?
Hey, we're in new business, honey. Go.
Okay, so as a member of the association, when these board meetings are held at like a home, and other board members or committee members would say, oh, come, it's open to everyone, but I never felt that way, and it was never really expressed that it was, and it felt weird to go to someone's home. Honestly, I'm not on the committee, I'm not on the board, I'm just going to show up at this meeting. So I wanted to ask I don't even know how to use, just ask you guys how you felt if we were to meet at a public. You know, we used to meet at the pavilion when it was convenient or when it was not too hot, not too cold, not too buggy. I went and asked the town of Colchester. They have that new, it's not that new, but 10 years maybe. They have space, nice meeting rooms, and they have screens that accommodate this.
Is that the place, Julia? I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I went by the other day. It's Carnegie Library or some
Not the library.
Oh.
It's like, you know where Citizens Bank used to be? Okay, the first street you turn, okay, Mark's Auto. Turn down that Mark's Auto in the corner next to the post office.
Oh, I know what the post office is.
Right,
Okay, yeah.
That corner, turn down that street, like the green's on your left, turn down that. It's,
Town hall?
yeah, Town Hall.
Yeah,
It's Town
well,
Hall.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah, it's Town Hall. That's it. It's Town Hall. It's right down that street where Citizens Bank used to be. It's a beautiful building in the back. Anyway, they allow you to use rooms as long as there's not a conflict on the schedule. I just want to put it out there to ask people. I, as a person in the community, didn't feel comfortable coming to someone's home. I wouldn't have come to your home. No, I just don't, it's weird. It's just weird. So if we want to be open and inclusive with our community, maybe we can consider having meetings at a public location where we're not charged.
I'm
And check in if you guys are interested.
Can I get my 2 cents on that?
Yeah, of course.
I'm absolutely against that. Because it's hard enough that we're at the lake here. I think the meeting should be held at the lake. The reason we started doing it at people's homes was because we did it in the pavilion. It's very disruptive with cars going by and it was too disruptive. So we decided to go to people's homes. And I'm against leaving that. I think we should stay at the lake on our property. If, you know,
Is that firehouse available?
it might, I don't know. I mean, we've used it when the pavilion burnt down, we had our annual meeting at the firehouse.
But they gotta move the trucks out and then they gotta
Yeah.
come back. If we don't have it 9 till 9 o'clock, I mean, are they 24/7?
At the where?
At the firehouse?
I don't know.
And they're volunteer.
Yeah.
I just feel like it should be here at the lake. Going into town, I'm against that. That's just my personal opinion for what it's worth.
So the lake is, at the pavilion, it's too disruptive.
It is.
Well, one, it's disruptive, but two, I tried having budget.
Yeah, we disrupted you.
No,
You did, you did. We had our happy hour.
Well-
Yeah, our meeting.
But it's really like the cars and everything. And then secondly, we don't have, I mean, we could up the Wi-Fi
Video.
there, but to have a video conference, we don't.
Does anyone?
I like taking turns at people's houses.
Okay.
I think at the pavilion, it was, plus, it's weather related. You don't want to sit out there when it's raining and then
No.
people will interrupt you. People will come over and say, you guys gonna be done soon?
Oh, okay.
Or you've got, the mahjong people, or, there's just people like to hang out at the pavilion. I think
Yeah.
it would be productive.
It was hard having budget meetings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Phil, I'm sorry you feel that way. I mean, I feel, you people are absolutely welcome at people's homes.
Well-
It's too bad that you didn't feel welcome. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, maybe we just need to make it clear that people are welcome, because I don't think it's ever really stated.
Okay, that's, yeah.
Now it's a little easier with this. People can participate this way. You
Yes.
can dial, before you can really dial in.
And I actually, when I was talking to Colleen today, I said to her, something about, you can watch the board meeting or whatever. And she goes, anybody can see that? So
Yeah.
people don't know.
Maybe it's an education thing, Dave.
I
and
agree. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
Okay. 20 people can dial in if they wanted to. If they didn't want to come. And I think it's nice, it's not just at one place though, and that we're moving around, but if,
Okay.
I'm not,
No, I'm just throwing it out there for discussion and thoughts and just sharing with you how I felt. But I think if we do make it more known.
Well, if you had those feelings, then obviously we weren't doing a good job of letting people know that they're welcome.
Yeah.
And that should be changed.
before I joined the board, I didn't feel welcome.
See, it's
And I think-
weird. It's kind of weird when you're not
Yeah.
on the board or a committee. It's weird.
Even when I was on a committee,
You didn't feel good.
going to somebody's house was weird for me.
But now we have this.
Now we
Yeah.
have this. So maybe that's the answer.
Let's try it.
Try it. Okay.
See how it goes. And you know what? Maybe in the spring packet, we can put a thing that says, if you're interested in a board meeting, you're always welcome, and you can always dial, we'll make it a little more.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
I mean, I think the issue that you're bringing up though is a valid one. I think it's not necessarily, so it's having the public coming into your domain, into your home.
Yeah, that was
So
kind of
was
weird.
it more of a, you felt uncomfortable having all these strangers in your home?
Two things. I didn't feel right walking into somebody else's home that I didn't know. And I'm not on the board, I'm not on committee. Also, now I'm thinking I'm on the board and I'm gonna have perfect strangers that even though they're in the lake community.
Yeah.
Or
I'm-
not,
or-
it could be anybody
Because
from
they're open,
anywhere.
yeah, the meetings are open to the general public. And I don't really want general public coming into my home.
That's
I'm a-
reasonable. Yeah. Yeah, this
So-
takes, this Google Meet takes care of that problem though. It's a good suggestion.
If people use that versus walking
Yeah.
into your.
Yeah,
Now-
so
I got to this meeting through the calendar. I went on the Google Calendar, I clicked on, you could also get in through Lake Hayward, right? Lake Hayward CT. So that's a venue how the public would get in. Because not everybody has the Google Calendar, right? Just us, just board members, right?
Right. Well, that calendar translates to the website.
Oh, it does. Okay. All right.
but can we exclude the general public from our home?
So can we just put on the calendar,
No.
See, I don't know. I
Well,
would, I,
not a little.
I'm gonna, if you feel like a lot of other people, then they're probably not gonna come to your house anyway. They're gonna go and do it through Google Meet.
Right. But
Yeah,
at
but-
least they can attend.
Right.
some weirdo could come to my house.
We'll take care of them.
Yeah.
So the question
I,
is,
it's, everybody has their own opinion. I don't have a problem with somebody coming to my house, but that's me. And if people have a problem, I respect that and I understand that.
You just want to have them at your house. You're not comfortable with it, we don't do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I
It's-
just,
you don't have to.
it was when I realized the general public and not just the lake community, it's anyone can come to, anyone who knows about the meeting can come. And that means you're opening, they're
As long as
credit.
they're a poll member, yes.
Cameras and ding dongs.
No, she said the general, you don't have to be a poll
You
member.
do not have to be a poll member.
That's what I'm
I
talking
certainly
about.
wouldn't push that.
No, we're gonna send a newsletter,
Right.
a spring packet that says, that's inviting pool members. We're not gonna reach out, Dave,
Right.
in the East Haddam News or whatever, and
Right.
nothing like that.
But savvy people, predator people, I'm sorry, I'm a single woman.
No, I respect your feelings. I do. I understand and I respect what you're saying.
It's to say, I gotta watch out for my own safety. It's a little concerning. It's concerning to me.
so
I
the question,
understand that. Yeah. But
can
you have
we-
no problem with the Google Meet.
No, but I won't host, I won't host.
That's
it right
fine.
now.
Yeah. No,
You
I,
don't, you don't have to.
that's fine. I certainly understand that.
so if the public, Pula and otherwise, has to be able to attend if they choose, can they just attend via Google Meets, meaning whatever we put in the calendar, can we just have a Google Meet link for them to join and not an actual physical location?
No. You know what? I could ask Adam. I think the answer is no. They have to be able to attend if they want to. Some people may not have access to a computer to do Google Meet.
So what if but what about meetings that we have that are all virtual? There is no physical location.
Right.
Well, then they would have to go. They would have no other choice. But if there's actually a physical location where we're congregating, the public's invited or allowed to come. And I can get very clarification from Adam, but
I think we probably should. I think you should get clarification before we say anything.
yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's, if there's an address, They have every right to show up.
That's kind of why I was thinking, I know, Dave, I appreciate it's here, it's at the lake. If the firehouse isn't available, that's why I was thinking the Colchester is closest. But if other people, I mean, I'll just have to, and if you guys are okay with that, then I won't host any.
That's fine, yeah, that's
That's
fine.
not a problem. That is definitely not a problem.
And I think you're on one more, Julia, and we'll just change it.
Okay.
Yeah, you're in June.
Yeah.
So we'll just change it to somebody
But are
else.
you still gonna find out if if there's a physical address, anyone can come? Because if
Yes.
you limit it to just the board or committee members, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, so,
Yeah, I don't see why we couldn't limit the meeting itself, the physical meeting, just the board members, and everybody can attend during Google Meet.
And committee,
Yeah, and committee chairs, right, yeah. Because if you want to, during the public comment section, you can comment during Google Meet as well as you can face to face.
right. I think the only clincher is gonna be that if somebody doesn't have a computer, I think that's what's gonna make the physical thing. But I will ask Adam.
Yeah,
Just-
I think that ship has kind of sailed. Most everybody has computers now. Anybody who wants to get involved, they're savvy now with tech.
I don't know. I just thought, well, my 50th high school reunion.
I'm with you. And
Oh
even in
my
the
God.
committees, there's people that don't come here, Dave, with a computer because they're just here seeing,
Right.
they're like, oh, I leave that thing back at
Yeah,
my other house.
Okay, that's fine. Yep.
Just one other quick thing for me. We need to vote in a new vice president. Don't want to do that tonight because we have 2 new board members that we're going to need to welcome. So I think we wait till January. Is everybody okay with that? Do you need-
Yeah, I'm not going to be here in January, but that's fine.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I won't be to the January meeting.
I guess I'm just putting it out there so everybody can think about it. But I'm guessing you didn't want to be vice president last.
No, I'm my time on the board is coming to an end. So,
I would
yeah.
step up, be vice president, but do we need to? Because they might want to be vice president too. Okay.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was I was thinking about that today because I had that on here and I said, well, if we're going to vote in new members, they should be a part of.
Right. I will support, yeah, Laura, I support whatever your decision is, I'm fine with it for VP. Whatever the body likes, I'm good with that.
Okay, thanks,
Thinking
Dave.
away.
And that's all I have.
Great.
Does anybody else have anything?
Wow, 2 hours.
Woo-hoo! Is there a motion?
Oh, motion to adjourn the meeting.
Yeah.
Second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye, yes.
Okay.
All right,
meeting-
everybody. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes,
I'll let-
and a Merry Christmas as well. Yeah.
I'll let everybody know December 4th or 11th,
Yes.
special meeting.
All right. I'll look for your email.
All right, Dave.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. All right. Take care now. Good night.
Stay warm.
Yeah.
We need to stay warm.
Okay, awesome.
We got a lot done. That was
Yeah, a
great.
lot done. Got a lot done.
Um,
I, January,